Hey everybody, Crystal Gamer here, just doing a quick little review of the Sims live stream for folks that didn't have the time to watch the whole thing and figured I'd condense things and go down through it a little bit quickly. And so we're looking at casts to start, and this is obviously for the new Werewolf pack. I probably should have said that right up front. So this is for the new Werewolf pack, which you may have gotten by the title of the video or something like that, but we have a whole bunch of new clothes. And the style on this is kind of ratty, ripped, different colors, things like that. There's a new beard, by the way, that is coming with base game, not even with the pack. It's actually with base game, the beard that we see here, but we've got some new hair, new earrings, new tights. The tights are kind of cool. Some new dresses. There's a little toddler werewolf outfit that is adorable. And yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff. The stuff that I'm most impressed with, I like the overall style of this pack, but the stuff that I'm most impressed with, I think, comes with it's the extras, it's the scars, it's the nails, it's the werewolf aspects and all of that. We do have a few more hairs too, as we can see here, and a lot of colors. And here we go into tattoos and scars and things like that. So there's a few different tattoos and new facial scars, new body scars, nose rings, earrings. The earrings she has are new. Lots of facial scars, which I think is pretty cool. I think the extras are just kind of cool. It's nice to get some extra scarring and different body things and all sorts of stuff like that. So, and just overall, I'm liking the style of the pack. It's casual, it's sort of ripped, and I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's a little bit different than some of the other stuff that we've had. So it's not the same old, same old. It's a little bit different. So we get into the werewolf stuff. They have different pelts. They have a few different decorations, like the collar. You can put clothes on them. Multiple different colors of pelts, and you can also do what you can with dogs and cats in that you can paint them. They have some you can do freehand, and then they have some fixed things that you can do, like she put on the bow tie, and then there's some templates for different scars and things like that. So if you're not good with freehand, you can use some of the different templates. So that's kind of nice. You can really customize with that, which I think is a good thing. And what she's showing here is that if you make significant changes to your Sims face, they will show up in the wolf. And we can see there's a lot of different wolf head shapes. Some of them, honestly, to me, look a little bit like cats. My only complaint that I have so far with this pack is that the wolf nose and mouth is not out far enough. And some of the wolf heads look a little like cats, but it looks like we have enough flexibility that we can make them look pretty wolfish. And then we have some special wolves that were designed here, and so you can see a nice variety of looks. But like, to me, the one that's on the far right hand corner, that looks very cat-like to me. I'm more inclined to go for something that's on the far left, or maybe the one that's next to the far right. That those two look a little bit more wolfish to me, but that's just personal taste. And of course, some of the artwork is fabulous and all of that, but I'm just kind of not liking the ones that look too cat-like. But then again, there may be some people out there that kind of, maybe someone wants to do some kind of story in their game that's not necessarily werewolves. Maybe they have were-cats. Honestly, I think you could kind of do that with this. You can make them look like cats. So if you want to have like were-cats, I think that you could actually do it with this. So we can look at it with pros and cons in that respect. All right, so I kind of wanted to step through a little part of the video. We get a new world. So Moonwood Mill is the new world that we get, and I want to take just a quick look at that. So we get 5 different lots. I think that all of the built out lots might have been made by James Turner, aka Sim Supply. I know this lot down here is definitely made by him, and this is sort of like a very cool community lot. And we have the space that is up at the top left is the I think it's called Howling Point is I think the name of it. And then we have a couple of fishing locations. This one here is kind of a magical fishing location, and there's a special moon fish, I think it's called, something with moon in it. And then there's another fishing location that is kind of like a more normal fishing location. This magical one, the moon fish comes out, I guess, most when there's a full moon. Oh, and that's something big too. There are now moon cycles in the game, and moon cycles have effects not just on werewolves, but all of the occult sims. So everything, including the aliens, so spellcasters and mermaids and vampires, the moon cycles affect them all differently. So that's kind of a nice little add-on thing. And we can see a few different areas. So we've got the entrance to the Howling Point here, and then there's another entrance next to it here. And I believe that there's an entrance down here in this thing on the right. I think that's where it is. I couldn't tell as much when she was going through it, but there are a couple of different entrances that once you get special werewolf features and stuff, you can move from place to place via digging and being able to go through that stuff. And there's also a little hidden treasure inside James Turner's build over there, the bar build. So let's actually go in and check out part of the world. So this is the area when you first come in. You've got this statue here, the waxing crescent moon. I can't remember exactly what they said about that, or if it's just letting you know the moon phase, I think, might be all that is going on there. But this is like your main area where you come in. And so I do think that lets you know the moon cycle, but we have some choices too, which is great. So you can either set a permanent moon phase. You can, of course, have the length set, or you can disable lunar effects entirely. So if you don't want the lunar effects on your Sims, you can just get rid of that. So there's a lot of flexibility in here. I like that they did this. I like when they give us a new pack and they give us lots of flexibility to play around with how we want to do gameplay. So this particular section makes me quite pleased. Then we have our world welcome board, community board, whatever you want to call it. So we have a couple of different options here. There's this view Werebees advisory here. This is something worth noting. There's a few different ways to become a werewolf. So you can either make a werewolf in chaos, you can ask another werewolf to bite you and make you a werewolf, and you can also be exposed to werebees. And if you're exposed to werebees, you can become a werewolf or prevent it. And so you have a couple of different options there if you're exposed to this. And I think the way to prevent it, if I'm not mistaken, is to go see the bartender at the main bar lot, and she can give you some stuff to prevent it. There's probably more than one way, if I had to guess too. There's usually more than one way to do things in The Sims. So I'm going to assume that there's probably more than one way to prevent it if you want to. But anyway, if you do catch werebees, then you may become a werewolf, or maybe not. And here we have the porta potties. And so this is on like an old lumber site. So basically what this world is kind of supposed to be is it's an old milling town, and apparently it's been abandoned and been taken over by werewolves now. And so these are some of the porta potties, and this entrance here is one of the entrances where you can kind of travel all over the place if you're a werewolf. I'm not 100% sure if you have to be a werewolf, but I think so. Nonetheless, it's not an actual porta potty. It's a thing to move around in. And just to give you a look, like a little bit backed up from the porta potties, this is kind of what this old lumber mill looks like here, so you can get a little feel for the world. And this here, so this kind of works a little bit like, to me, like if we go into the magic tree or something like that. So you can go into the magic porta potty, and you have a couple of different options that you can explore, but it's one of those things that basically your sim disappears into it and then reappears someplace else. So you're not actually going through tunnels or anything like that, but they kind of like the usual thing, the way they handle that stuff. And so this is what Howling Point looks like from above. So I think that you might be able to get there from the porta potty. I think that's one of the places you can get to from the porta potty. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. This is also one of those places where you can get the special moon plant. I can't remember what it's called now, but there is a special moon plant that grows up there, especially during the full moon. I'm not sure if you get werebees from that or not, but there is some special plant that grows up there during the full moon. So just be aware of that. You also have this werewolf guy that kind of hangs out, and if you're a human, he mostly ignores you. If you're a werewolf, you'll have more luck talking to him. But his name's Greg, and so you can attempt to communicate with him. But if you're not a werewolf, you may not have quite as much luck. But if you want to start a fight, you can do that too, which could be interesting. I don't know how well you do against him if you're not a werewolf, but yeah. Anyway, he's a wolf that just kind of hangs out in this world. So this here is one of the buildings on the lot, and it's the library, and this one was also built by James Turner. I think it's a very cool looking library as well. So he's going to go into it real quick. And so, yeah, this is kind of a neat looking place. And so here are some of the books. So you get a lot of different books that come with this pack, which is cool. We get new recipes with this pack as well, including raw beef, I believe, is one of the things. We get cold cuts and another steak dish, I think, and a few other things, things that make sense for werewolves, and some new books. And so there's a lot of stuff. It's a pretty good game pack. And so, yeah, this is what the library looks like. So, yeah, it's pretty good. If anyone is interested in seeing a wolf transformation, that's what a wolf transformation looks like there. And we get their little tug of war game. So that's one of the new things that comes with it. New bonfire going in the back as well. And so this here, we're looking at a wolf, and we have an awful lot of different options here. This is another thing. You can join a werewolf pack. And if you want to join a werewolf pack, obviously you have to be a wolf. And then there are several different trials, and different packs have different kind of skills or activities or things that they kind of like. So you can either be a lone wolf, or you can join one of the packs and work that out. And you can even become the alpha of a pack. However, you have to be a pretty strong werewolf and beat the other alpha. So that's a factor. So like this here, this image shows a couple of the different things for this particular wolf pack. So the Wild Fangs. And so they like these different things that for their values: pack participation, expand and explore, and self-improvement. So obviously different packs will have different values. So this is the bar area, which I like an awful lot. I think this looks good. And during the live stream, they made this guy get bitten, ask to become a werewolf and get bitten. And one of the things that happens is if you do that, you get very hungry. So he's over there getting food. So yeah, this is where you can go to get food in this area. And I love this bar. And one of the cool things about this is this bar that's inside here, apparently it can be changed out with other bars too. So it doesn't have to be this bar. So I think that's pretty neat as well. So we've got a couple of other buildings on this lot here. So this is like the first one's a little hangout, and then there's a little outhouse, and then there's a hidden building in the back, which she's going to go to in a second. So there's the hidden building in the back with the awesome wolf thing on there. So this is sort of like the wolf hangout place that I think only wolves can go into, if I'm not mistaken. And it is pretty cool downstairs. Again, this is all part of James Turner's builds, and he always does a good job. I like his build. So this here, I like this place. This is a cool little hangout. And of course, if we want to edit it or do anything with it, we can. But to the right, which you can't really see right now, there is a kitchen and bathroom. Here we go. I got a little bit better of a view. So we can see we've got a little kitchen and bathroom. It's not, I mean, this is sort of like really ratty run down. It's like your worst appliances and all of that stuff, but I think it looks cool. It's suitable. It fits the area, and there's even a couple of bunk beds back there. So yeah, very neat. And also I just want to take a moment to look at the stuff on the right here. We can see we've got a little wolf hand up on the right with this red thing filling up. When the red thing fills up, they go into this werewolf fury thing, which I am really digging because I write novels that have to do with shifters. They're really unique kind of shifters, but my main dude has some issues with rage and fury. So I'm sort of digging the whole werewolf fury concept. I don't know how much I'd like it for gameplay, but I do I do like the concept in this. So this door is very interesting. This sort of elevator looking thing is kind of interesting. If you put this on a build, and it's obviously already in this build, this will allow you to travel from one place to another within this world. But if you put it on a build outside of this world, it will allow you to enter this world. So that's something that's pretty different. So kind of liking that as a feature. I think that's kind of a cool and different feature. Okay, so I wanted to play this section because this is like the main reason that I did this video. Is our guy, he becomes a werewolf. He goes into this huge werewolf fury thing, which here he is, he's turned already, becomes a werewolf. I think the fury thing is just kind of a nifty thing. So he runs on all fours, which the way they run is we know it's not realistic. We're just gonna kind of ignore that part and pretend. He does look a little cat-like. His face does look a little cat-like as a werewolf, but it is what it is. He seems to be having some trouble walking down the stairs. Apparently, maybe that's a fury thing, that there's a problem walking down the stairs or something, but that looked weird. But he tears everything up because he's got fury. So he's actually nicer than my guy in my novels, because my guy in my novels, like, he kills things when he goes into this type of state. So this dude, he kills toilets and sinks and showers and things like that. But yeah, you can see side view. Like, this is my only complaint, really, side view. His mouth and his nose are not sticking out far enough. It looks too cat-like. But look, he goes into a rage, and so he's all fury, and you can make him smash things. And when they're in this state, they don't necessarily use objects the way they're supposed to be used. I'm sure you couldn't guess that without my telling you. But yeah, so there's that feature. And then I just have to mention that after this rampage, this was the result. So he ends up naked, I guess. And I don't know if this is always the case, but he ended up naked here. And then, of course, he just stood in front of this thing and used his phone naked, because that's what you do. That's totally normal, right? So different traits, different things that happen to your wolves affect, they go into this fury state. And you can see here that the fury state envelops werewolves like a beautiful flaming blanket. As fury grows, their animalistic instincts begin to manifest, and they will eventually take over. So it is constant and hastened by temperaments, preferences, werewolf abilities, and the full moon. So be careful out there, folks. But we can see, yes, his little fury meter is down, and they get different things here. Like, you can have prideful or flirty or whatever. And then our naked dude, he has a prideful thing. So this one feels a special pride about being a werewolf and doesn't appreciate being made to feel otherwise. Aside from gaining fury while embarrassed or uncomfortable, they also might take things a little too personally. And then we go into the werewolf abilities section. So we have other things like this in the game. We've seen this before, so we know that they need to get these different abilities down at the bottom, and then they can go up. And we'll look at just a couple of these different things that they kind of scrolled over just to give us an idea of what they have here. So we have voracious hunger, devour objects to satisfy hunger. Hunter, learn how to hunt for food. The will to resist, regain control while rampaging. If you're a scavenger, dig up lost treasures and artifacts. Personal grooming, lick away the dirt. Somber howl, learn how a howl that reduces fury. So yeah, so there are definitely a lot of things here. Curse bearer, turn other Sims into werewolves via a cursed bite. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So bearer of the curse, seek others, grant them the gift, seek the moon. So maybe you need to get so far. They didn't mention it in the live stream to my recollection, but maybe you need to get so far up the skill chain to even make other werewolves. That might be a thing. Primal instincts, tap into your instincts for a quick confidence boost. Tunneler, quickly travel around the world by digging tunnels. That's something that we haven't really talked about, but yeah, if you get this, you can tunnel from one place to another. I was kind of hoping that feature would be a little bit more than it is, but I kind of knew from the trailer it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. I sort of had a feeling that it wasn't going to be, like, we weren't actually going to see into the tunnels and stuff, and we don't. It's just they go from one place to another, so. Territory marking, leave a mark in the world and relieve bladder need. So if your werewolf is in a fury, he's not going to use the toilet like normal, but if he has this, he will just mark wherever he wants and just go to the bathroom wherever. So that's a thing. So we can't see this in its entirety, but it's some kind of nap thing. Apparently they can just go anywhere on the ground, wherever, take a nap. And so these on the right are your dormant abilities. So transformation mastery. So transform into beast mode at will. Unlock by preventing your werewolf from scaring any sims during a fury induced rampage. So I suppose you could just lock your sim self inside somewhere to ensure that they don't scare anyone or something like that. We have werewolf mentorship. Teach other werewolves with skill and grace. Lunar Epiphany, read the ancient werewolf writings. Oh, this is one thing in the books that come with it, the werewolf books, when a human reads them, they can't read everything in them. But if you have this, apparently you can. Werewolf empathy, help pacify other werewolves. Werewolf diplomacy, use diplomacy to win over werewolf allies. And unfortunately, she missed the one at the top right. She did not click on the one at the top right. And even just in case you're wondering why I didn't go over every single ability, it was because she did not go over every single ability during the live stream. So I'm just summarizing kind of what they did on the live stream. And then last but not least, they flew through cast. They did this very, very quickly. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time here anyway, because y'all know I'm going to do a build buy video once the pack actually comes out, provided I can actually play a game, because right now my computer fan is toast, waiting for the new ones to come in, appear to be on back order, not good, so I can't play any games at the moment, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that that happens before the pack is released, because I definitely want to do a build buy video. I'm very happy about the stuff that's in this build buy, especially the roof stuff. I'm really loving the roof stuff. There's a lot of good stuff, and we get an actual telescope, like a normal size telescope. It only took 6 years, but we get a normal size telescope. I also like the new stairs. I like the floors. I like that we have scratches for floors and walls, and yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this build buy. So I'm going to be having a good time with that. Look out for that video. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe if you want to see me go over the build buy stuff when we actually get it. And I think that's it for today. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please do hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps with the YouTube algorithm and all of that. And hope to see you all back again next time. Bye now.